Hi guys, I'm Apollonia Ponti. I'm your dating and relationship coach and founder of ApolloniaPonti.com. I'm your coach for you men to master your attraction skills and build the relationship and love life and dating life that you want overall. Today's video, we are going to talk about 9 ways to spark romantic tension instantly. And this is typically when you're dating a woman. Now, understand these 9 ways are very vital, so listen up to every single one of them. I've interviewed so many women, including women myself here, but also women that I've worked with, friends, interviews around the world, everything that I've done to give you guys some really true insides of a woman's mind besides myself. And these are some things that a lot of them mentioned in regards to their dates. So, number one, let's talk about body language and the way that you carry yourself. So, a lot of times in my boot camps, there'll be men that are very timid sometimes because let's just say they're a 35-year-old virgin or they're a 21-year-old guy that is just starting out in life, or a newly divorced guy, or a guy that gets women but is too egotistical, like leads from ego. There's so many different things that happen. And what's really important is our dialogue is something that is instantly a tension trigger for a woman. So if we are talking in a low voice on our dates, which I've made a lot of videos about, we're not owning our own self, right? Confidence also comes off in our demeanor and how we are praising ourselves. So the reason why I talk about our boot camps is because a lot of times in my boot camps, I'll have men stand in the front and actually yell their name and every freaking good thing that they think about themselves, even if it's a freaking embarrassing, because you own your power. So one of the things, the reason why I mentioned that in this video is because if you struggle with this, what I want you to do before you go on a date is actually do this, right? So I'm Apollonia Ponti and I love my business. I love what I do for a living. I'm the shit. Like literally yell this out in front of your mirror, okay? Because what happens is we get the mind into another realm, to really position yourself as someone more, right? As someone who is value, someone who is meant to be here. And a lot of times when we're insecure going into dates, we feel like we're not supposed to be here. We feel like we're not meant for this. We feel like it's too good for us. We feel like we're going to F it up probably, right? So that's number one. The way that you come off to a woman in regards to your body language, your tonality, how you might be moving. Don't put your hands in your pocket and be nervous all the time. Be free in your body language. Go with the flow. Don't give a crap. Like that's why I made a video about why results come when you stop caring, because it's true. Number two is have a calm demeanor. A lot of times, and this goes into this as well, a lot of times when we don't we're more reactionary, we're so tense, we don't have a calm demeanor. And I talk about this one tool that a lot of people don't talk about that is such an attraction trigger on dates is when you actually have that moment of silence. Calm demeanors don't just fill it in and say, oh, well, do you have any sisters or brothers? Because you guys are not talking right now, right? And there was this awkward silence for like 3 or 5 seconds. And so you're trying to fill it in with anything that you can think of. So it doesn't make you present. It's just you're reactionary and then you start to get nervous and you start to overcompensate. And then that calm energy goes away. That calm demeanor can go away. When silence happens, look at it as a freaking good thing, because now is your time to challenge the woman in front of you. And all you do is you sit back and you look at her and you smile. And if it's too silent for too long, keep on eating your food, keep on drinking your drink. Do whatever you want to do in that moment of silence. Challenge her to see if she talks to you. And if she doesn't, call it out. And then you can say something like this. Well, this is not awkward at anything. We haven't even said anything about it in 2 minutes. Are you shy or something? Actually challenge her, okay? Guys, there's so much. This is a win-win when we have that silent moment in relationships. And there's some dates that you go on and you have a lot to say, which is great too. I'm not saying that you have to have a silent moment, but having that calm presence and that demeanor and picking up on her behaviors too, right? So when we're calm and we're in a demeanor that's calm and more present, we're able to pick up on that woman's behaviors, right? Is she fidgeting a lot? Is she not interested in us? Is she looking around? Is she really engaging in conversation, or is she just talking about her? right? Because we really get to know a woman when she asks questions about her and also is open and sharing dialogue with herself. So tip number 3 in regards to this is the way we build attraction instantly is by sharing something about yourself, right? That leads me into that is sharing something about yourself. It could be a story about your life, an embarrassing moment, something that will open her up. Here's the thing. There's been a study that has shown, and I can go into all of this, but I just want to get straight to the point here is when someone opens up to you about a story or situation in their life, the other person is more likely to share something as well because it's a bonding moment. And what happens is in that bonding moment, there can be a chemistry, there can be resemblance, there can be clarity, there can be identity in it where, wow, okay, well, he's kind of just like me. Like I've been through this too. There can be resemblance, and then you have something in common. Right? So don't be scared to share a little bit stories about you as well. This is another way that you can build that spark in those moments instantly with a woman. Tip number 4 is mirror the other person. So mirror the other woman in front of you, right? So mirror her energy, mirror her dialogue from time to time. Do what she's doing, right? As far as mirroring her from time to time as well. And I want you to say this. I want to say this. We've got to put a halt on when we go out with women that are like very open, big green light, and they just want to rush and they're like, oh, okay, future planning. And then we're invested in a relationship in 1 week. That is also a red flag that we got to be careful of because typically when we have a woman that's trying to get into a relationship with us so fast, there's something that she's running from. And typically when we get into that relationship with her, something fails a couple months later. And then you're in this relationship and you're like, you feel like you've just been blindsided, right? So what's important is that we mirror the other person. And the reason why I said the red light in this case is because if you have a woman that is hot and heavy, and maybe she comes off hot and heavy sexually with you, that's okay. Hey, I'm not telling you to stop there. But what I am saying is like relationship wise, right? If she's like, oh, do you want to go on a date tomorrow? I would love for you to meet my sister. And it's like only the first day and you're like, whoa, this is a lot, right? So that's not what I mean here. What we need to do is just slow the roll if that happens, but mirror the other person's activities, what she's doing, her behaviors, and really start there. And number 5 is pace yourself on the date. Don't take a mile as she gives you an inch. So don't do all the talking. A lot of times I have men that talk a lot because they're nervous, right? Good looking guys too. And they're just nervous because they are out of their element or they are really intrigued by this woman or they really like this woman. So they start to over talk and they don't pace themselves. Remember, if a woman is thinking that you talk too much, this is an instant attraction killer. Okay. We're not there to hear someone's stories all the time. We're here to share. Next tip is tip number 6 is mindset control and suspending your ego. So mindset control is not putting a woman on a pedestal when we get to the date. Understand that the reason why this woman is on a date with you is because she sees something in you as well as you see something in her. So you own the fact that you're in the chair, seat, standing right next to her, whatever. What we tend to do is we lose control of our mindset when we put a woman on our pedestal, saying she's the prettiest woman I've ever been with. I have to get this woman when we don't even know anything about her, okay? And then secondly is understand that you have to suspend your ego, right? Suspending your ego meaning like, in an arrogant level. If you can come off arrogant to a woman, this is not going to be good for you. It's not an attraction meter. What happens though, if we come off assertive and confident, there's a difference here. Assertiveness is directive, right? Directive, compassionate, but also too straight to the point. Arrogancy is led from ego, like I'm better than you type of mentality. And that's what we don't want to do in dates. So mindset control is going to be one of the important things too on your date, because if we think that this woman is better than us, then we just don't come off authentic. We probably will hold off from making a first move, hold off from looking at the signals that she's trying to give us. We don't even hold her hand if she's open to it, and we don't pick up on those signals. Tip number 7 is challenge her, put up with the banter, make her laugh, and don't be afraid of calling yourself out when you say something stupid, right? There's a really big charm in a man calling himself out on a date because he said something stupid, did something stupid, because it's actually one of the biggest ways that you can save your own self from doing something that was uncalled for, right? So let's say that you asked a question that was like the stupidest question ever. I don't know, like, do you like bologna on your sandwich? I don't know, something I can come up with. Great job, Apollonia. But, and you say that and you're like, gosh, that was the stupidest question I've ever asked in my life. Please ignore that question, right? And now she can laugh and you laugh too. Do you see the difference in the responses here? Instead of you're just like owning it, instead of just being like insecure about the question, you're like, oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I probably could have picked a better questions, right? And you ask for her for validation. No, just own it and be like, why the hell do I care about your bologna sandwich? Like, I'm just a little nervous here. Let me calm down. And you actually call yourself out. This is the ability to emote in the right way. And this will actually open up a woman. Like, here's the thing. When a woman goes on a date with you guys, remember, she sees potential in you. It's about what we do with it afterwards. Same with her. It's not about all the time the guy has to work. It's about the woman has to work for you. And this is what leads me into the next tip is you have to take your time and listen to her. If you take your time and listen to her, you can really see where this woman is at in life, okay? And last tip of them all, tip number 9, and this leads into everything that I'm saying, is let her work for you. A lot of times we go into dates as men and we're like, I got to prove myself to this woman, when it's like all this pressure that the guy has to do everything, and it's not the truth. Listen, guys, if you are in your head that this woman has to show up for me too and have to work for me, she will. A high value man gets this. It's not about you having to do all the initiation, all the work, all the questions, all this approach, all this. No, it's really about the fact that you let the woman come to you a little bit too during a date. Let her ask you questions. And if she talks about herself all the time in the date, actually tell her, wow, you have a lot to say about yourself. You know, this whole date has been like an hour and you haven't asked me one question about me. Literally do this stuff, guys. This is assertiveness, right? This is challenging people. Like, just because she's a woman that is pretty does not mean that you can't say something that is on your mind. When we do this, it positions you differently because you are not passive. You are upfront, but we're not saying it from an arrogant point. Like, oh, wow, you must be really into yourself. And it's been an hour and you haven't asked me a question about me. So what am I doing here? That's arrogance. No, there's a difference. So I love getting to know you, but you know, one thing I've noticed, it's been about an hour and you haven't even asked me a question about me. Why? Totally different, right, guys? This is what I mean, is we lose sight of this. So let her work for you too. If you can do these attraction meters and all these attraction meters on the date, I want to know. And I can guarantee you in this date, this woman is going to be into you and you are going to spark a romantic tension instantly. If you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. If it's your first time subscribing, I welcome you to hit that subscribe button. And I have something special for you since you stayed to the end of the video. It's called my How to Escalate cheat sheet, which is down below in the description box. As always, I'll see you again in the next video. And remember, you are always loved. Bye for now.